Pahlavi, you've been urging US military intervention in Iran. This is the biggest buildup of US military assets since the Iraq War. Is war imminent? And what scale of intervention do you think it will take to overthrow the regime?
This intervention is critical in the sense that it could be really a humanitarian intervention to protect more lives in Iran that otherwise might be lost. And as you witnessed the last month, how many people on the streets were bravely chanting against the regime only to be crushed by this regime that has literally waged military war against its own people. In order for people to have a decent chance to succeed, there has to be a balancing of the playing field. Free democratic Iran will be a reliable ally that will work with you and other countries to bring about stability, as opposed to a regime that has proven on its track record that it cannot be trusted. They're simply trying to buy time, hoping that President Trump will no longer be in office 2 years from now. We have a project that has been identified. It's called IPP, Iran Prosperity Project, that first concentrates on the immediate phase right after the collapse, the first 100 days, if you will, how to bring about economic stability, how to incorporate the maximum number of infrastructure and bureaucratic forces that remain in place in order to keep the country functioning while we're preparing the grounds for the election of a constitutional assembly where the debates about the future form of a secular democratic system could take place. How do we put food back on the table? How do we bring about the kind of investment that will kickstart our economy yet again? How can we immediately have an impact so we can immediately create jobs and opportunities for people who have been for decades disenfranchised in some areas of Iran simply because they were Sunnis and they didn't fall into the choice of this Shiite-dominated regime. I'm talking about Baluchistan, Kurdistan, areas where they were heavily ignored. Bring about every instrument that makes our citizens the ability to have access to health, education, everything that this regime has denied them.
And what legitimacy do you think you'll have without international backing and without regime defections, substantial regime defections?
I'd like to be there, even if it means that it's before the regime's collapse, and we are working on different ideas and scenarios regarding that. But obviously that's very important. And first and foremost, my legitimacy only comes from my fellow Iranians. I'm not looking for endorsement or international support. They should be supporting the Iranian people and their right to self-determination and freedom. That's all I'm asking for.
Subscribe for more videos.